Alright guys, welcome to B.A.S.H Sports. This is 2020 NFL Mock Draft Part 2. If you didn't watch Part 1, I highly recommend you guys to watch that, because I go through my projections for picks 1 through 8. But this is 2021 NFL Mock Draft Part 2, picks 9 to 16. With the 9th overall pick, the Denver Broncos select Devonta Smith, wide receiver out of Alabama. Devonta Smith had 117 receptions, 1,856 yards, and 23 touchdowns. Devonta Smith is the 2020 Heisman winner with great route running and great hands. His only problem is that he's a little undersized, so if he puts on some weight, he could be an elite receiver in the next level. In 2020, the Broncos offense overall wasn't that good, and a lot of it was the play of quarterback Drew Lock. So the Broncos could have selected a quarterback here, but I believe that Lock could still succeed in the NFL after showing a lot of promise at the end of the 2019 season. 2020 wasn't really a good year for the offense as a whole, with injuries and COVID and etc. But you add Devonta Smith to a receiver core with the likes of Courtland Sutton and former teammate Jerry Jeudy, and this offense looks ready to compete with the Kansas City Chiefs offense. We have a trade here at the 10th overall spot. The Buffalo Bills move up from the 30th overall pick to the 10th overall pick, and in turn, they give the Dallas Cowboys 30th overall pick, 2022 and 2023 first round picks, 2021 second round pick, and 2023 third round pick. With the 10th overall pick, the Buffalo Bills select Kyle Pitts, tight end out of Florida. Kyle Pitts had 43 receptions, 770 receiving yards, and 12 touchdowns. Kyle Pitts is a monster and a nightmare to cover. He's too big for cornerbacks to cover in 6'6", 246 pounds. He is also too fast for linebackers to cover, running at 4.44 40-yard dash. He also has great hands. This is a great trade for the Cowboys because they trade back and get a bucket load of picks that they can use for the future. This is also a great trade for the Bills because last year they were terrific and one step away from the Super Bowl. On offense, they had Stephon Diggs and Josh Allen, who had terrific seasons. But if there was one weakness in that offense, it was at that tight end position, and this is what the Bills addressed by selecting Kyle Pitts. With this pick, the Buffalo Bills look like a legit Super Bowl contender. With the 11th pick, the New York Giants select Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah, linebacker out of Notre Dame. Owusu-Koramoah had 37 solo tackles, 1.5 sacks, 3 forced fumbles, and 1 interception. The Giants did a good job in free agency addressing positions of need. They got Daniel Jones some weapons in Kenny Golladay, who was arguably the best free agent wide receiver this year. They also got him wide receiver John Ross, who ran the fastest 40 in NFL history in 4.22 seconds. They also got some help in the secondary by getting Adoree Jackson, who is a really fast cornerback that will have to cover the likes of Amari Cooper, Curtis Samuel, and Jalen Reagor in that NFC East division. But one position they needed to improve is the linebacker position, which they do by selecting Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah. Koramoah is an explosive sideline-to-sideline linebacker who will do a great job complementing the team's other starting linebacker, who is Blake Martinez. With the 12th pick, the Philadelphia Eagles select Patrick Surtain II, cornerback out of Alabama. Surtain had 18 solo tackles, 0 forced fumbles, 1 interception, and 10 pass deflections. The Eagles didn't do too much in free agency this year, with their best pickup being safety Anthony Harris from the Vikings. Even though the offense was the weaker part of the team, the defense also struggled a good amount last season. But at this point, there are just too many good defensive players on the board after only one of the top 10 picks was a defensive player. This is where they select Patrick Surtain, who is arguably the best cornerback in this year's draft. He is a long corner who was good at breaking up passes. Not only that, but he has football in his genes, with his father also playing cornerback in the NFL, getting selected by the Dolphins in the 1988 NFL Draft. His only question mark was his speed, which he took out by running a 4.46 40-yard dash. Overall, Surtain II is a great corner to pair up with Darius Slay. With the 13th overall pick, the Los Angeles Chargers select Rashawn Slater, offensive tackle out of Northwestern. Last year, the Chargers selected quarterback Justin Herbert with the 6th overall pick, and that turned out to be a great choice. After starting quarterback Tyrod Taylor got hurt after the Week 1 matchup, Herbert got put in Week 2 against the Kansas City Chiefs. Since then, he never looked back, throwing for over 4,000 yards and winning Rookie of the Year. But throughout the season, Herbert was pressured and sacked a total of 34 times. This is where Rashawn Slater comes in. Slater is a big physical tackle who is arguably the most polished lineman in this year's draft. If Herbert can throw 4,000 yards with a decent offensive line, imagine how well he can play with Slater as his tackle. With the 14th pick, the Minnesota Vikings select Alijah Vera-Tucker, guard out of USC. Minnesota really needs help on that offensive line. They lost a couple players on that O-line during free agency, including their starting left tackle Riley Reiff, who they released. Most likely, that means that their starting right guard Urza Cleveland is going to be moved to left tackle. This leaves a huge hole at guard, and this is where Vera-Tucker comes in. Vera-Tucker isn't the most athletic O-line man, but he is very strong and has very good balance, which is important for an interior O-lineman. He can also very well play at left tackle, so the versatility is there, making him a great player to be taken mid-first round. With the 15th pick, the New England Patriots select Trey Lance, quarterback out of North Dakota State. North Dakota State didn't have games this season, but in 2019, Lance threw for 2,786 yards, 28 touchdowns, and 0 interceptions. The Patriots re-signed Cam Newton to a one-year deal this free agency. There is no guarantee that Cam Newton will be the quarterback that Bill Belichick and Josh McDaniels are looking for. But even if Cam does do well this year, he is not going to be the long-term option, and this is where Lance comes in. He has a similar playing style to Cam Newton with that dual threat ability. But unlike Cam, Lance has a great arm and protects the ball very well, shown in the fact that he had 0 interceptions in 2019. The only downside to Lance is that he hasn't played in many games, and he played for a small school. But the Pats like selecting small school guys like they did with Kyle Duggar, who played Division II football last year in the second round. Bill Belichick understands that the NFL is going toward a dual-threat quarterback league, and that is exactly what Lance will bring to the offense. We wrap up the 2021 NFL Mock Draft Part 2 with the 16th pick. And with the 16th pick, the Arizona Cardinals select Jaycee Horn, cornerback out of South Carolina. Jaycee Horn had 10 solo tackles, 0 forced fumbles, 2 interceptions, and 6 pass deflections. The Cardinals lost their best cornerback in Patrick Peterson to the Vikings over free agency. This leaves a hole at the cornerback position, and they fill it by taking cornerback Jaycee Horn. Like Surtain, Jaycee's dad was also a football player, but unlike him, Jaycee's dad Joe was a wide receiver and played for the Chiefs, Falcons, and Saints in the mid-2000s. Jaycee Horn is a very fast and physical corner, running a 4.38 40-yard dash. Sometimes, Horn is so physical that he gets flagged for holding, so that is something to watch out for in the next level. But apart from that, Horn is a great pick. And you add him to a defense including the likes of Budda Baker, J.J. Watt, and Chandler Jones, and now this team looks like it can shut down Russell Wilson, Matthew Stafford, and Jimmy Garoppolo's offenses in that tough NFC West division. Thanks for watching 2021 NFL Mock Draft, picks 9 to 16. Stay tuned for part 3 and 4 of 2021 NFL Mock Draft. And don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel.